I had thought that the hideous, violent monster you have given me would complete my collection of ugliness, my menagerie of monsters. I was wrong. You, my human love, are the most vile, the most fierce, and wretched. My collection could never be complete without you. I need you, Captain. But alas, I fear you will not give your consent willingly. Am I right? Therefore, Sub-Commander Dax, terminate communications, warm up my modified intruder, engage the precursor warp nullifier. Prepare for battle! Sub-Commander, why has my main console become inoperative? The transmit mode is locked! What do you mean the central system computer is damaged? How? The beast? Escaped? No, Sub-Commander, this is impossible. It couldn't escape from our strongest containment system. It's what? Decks 5 and 6? 11 crewmen? Sound the alarms, you fool. Where is it now? Engineering report. Engineering! Sub-Commander, seal bulkhead. Sub-Commander, are you listening to me? What are you staring at? Pay attention, Sub-Commander. Give me a report on its position. What are you staring at? Behind me? What?
Greetings, Captain. It is good to see you again. Nothing new to report, sir. What might that be? I am intrigued, Captain. But what are you talking about? Great reaping mounds of happiness! You shall be honored forever, Captain, as the savior of the Sophisti race. I have been granted the ultimate reward, duty. This humble warrior will take the Sophisti maidens you possess, gently wake them, and then perform ribald feats of unsurpassed fertility. With their consent, of course. Our people shall be reborn. Your name shall be recorded in our most sacred writings for all time. Thank you, Captain, and farewell. I have urgent business to attend to.
Hello, human earthling. Ha, ha, ha. We respond with appropriate awe and respect. Now go away. Yes, peace is good. We want peace also. That was the straight peace. Now, by departing out of space immediately. Joke. Yes, joke. Here is joke. When is a slave not a slave? Answer. When he is a slave master. Ha, ha, ha. Better joke. Yes, better joke. Here it is. What you get when you combine deuterium, pellet, terawatt, laser, and primitive earth leader from ancient steps. Answer. Confusion. Ha, ha, ha. Rugan are funny. We are Rugan. We are funny. There is no alternative. What are that? Do not understand reference. Human possesses forbidden knowledge. No interference in plan can be tolerated. Human must be eliminated. must know too much. It must not escape.
This very morning, I was just saying to subordinate Ochre, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the feet of a human." We laughed and laughed. What a synchronicity. Now, what can we do for you today? What 3 items would you like to buy today? How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred to your vessel. How wonderful, Captain. The Iroquois are presently at war with a race called the Korra. They are fighting within a large spherical region of space, centered around the Craterless star group. Although it is probably too early to tell, it would appear that the Korra are winning. What else would you like to buy? Very well then. What would you like to sell, Captain? The 18 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 13.6 credits. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
What do you want? Good idea. May I just say I'm behind you 100%. But unfortunately, the Unga are all too busy to come to the Hyperwave caster right now, so come back later, or much later.
I am a peaceful creature, a friendly alien life form. The Urquan called us talking pets. Until recently, I was employed on a dreadnought starship as a translator. Then, after the ship suffered severe damage from combat, we crashed at Alpha Pavonis. Miraculously, I survived. I was rescued by an Longplay exploration vessel. The Arilu, they couldn't heal my most severe injuries, so they brought me to the Unga who possess superior bioengineering skills. Oh, you know about that, do you? Oh, well, I guess that means I'll have to kill you now. I can't permit you to reveal my transformation. Urquan might find out, and then my plans for revenge will be ruined. Well, I tried to spare your life, Captain, but you were just too curious. So now, seek death at the hands of your enemy. Aiyah! I cannot compel you. Your mind is closed to me. How can this be? I am forced to resort to more primitive measures. Unga Commander, summon your 10 combat chips and attack this intruder instantly. there, friendly Starship Captain. You'll never believe this, but somehow the injuries I suffered when the Urquan crashed triggered some kind of a personality transformation. I became evil and spiteful, cruel and nasty, whimsically unpleasant. You may have also noticed I gained some kind of temporary psychic powers. Well, I just want to let you know I'm cured! Captain, I don't know exactly how, but when you were fighting those Oonga ships, a chunk of the ceiling fell down on my head and gave me quite a whack. Ouch, oochie, it still hurts. When I awoke, the universe had ceased to be the dark and hostile place I had previously thought it to be. Instead, I was overwhelmed, yes, even awed by the beauty and perfection of it all. I also discovered that I had completely lost those wicked mental powers and can now look forward to a new life filled with happiness, butterflies, and goodwill for all. Your job is done, Captain. You have saved me. Now you can safely remove your psychic protection device and leave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, why are you looking at me like that, Captain? Don't you believe me? You question my word? Okay, so I was lying. Big deal. So what? Boy, are you a pain. Do you know that? What do you want from me? My life? Oh, you do? Well, as an alternative, let me make this little suggestion. If you don't kill me, I'll help you do whatever you wish. Is it a deal, Captain? I get the basic idea. You want to overthrow the Urquan. Bravo! Good idea! Way to go. I, too, wish to see the Urquan beaten, humiliated, destroyed, and I alone possess the unique ability that will help you achieve your goal. I can use my psychic powers to temporarily distract the Urquan, confuse him for a few seconds. Presumably, you will use this moment to strike a lethal blow against the Urquan. Such a plan cannot fail, Captain. We must see to that. No tricks, Captain. No tricks. I fear you cruelly misjudge me. I'm on your side now. Together, we will make a great team, Captain. This day, this moment, shall go down forever in the history of our galaxy. I am coming aboard your ship now. I will make a nest in the pressurized section of your ship's hold. When you wish to talk with me, I will be there.
Hail, hail, human earthling. Great hero has returned. Oh, my lips quivering. Just looking at him on monitor. What smile, what sparkling eyes, what nice bony structure. He one who has saved us from mental compulsion of evil talking pet. Hail, 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 oh great hero. We grateful species, speak to us how we reward you. Ariula who kindly of our neighbors gave us a talking pet, hoping we could heal it more severe injuries, which we did. While working on it, we do routine brain structure scan and discover that creature have extremely sophisticated set of neural pathways, even more complex than own. Further analysis show that with minor genetic manipulations, talking pet intelligence greatly expanded, perhaps even to sentience. Oh, little did know what monster we created. Only a few hours after injecting nanots with modification program, creature wakes up. Almost immediately took control of hospital. then city, then whole planet. We try to resist, but creature, even in drug-weakened state, too strong. From that day on, we just mindless slaves, who live only to serve talking pet and big plan. What big plan? Oh, we never quite sure about details of Big Plan, except it involved getting revenge, and mean lots of revenge, against Urquan masters. You mean corpse of talking pet, don't you, Captain? Did kill it, didn't you? As general rule, corpses aren't too much fun. When we were first starting to mess with its brain, our intention to get it smart enough to accept orders from us, and then repeat them as though they legitimate Urquan commands. We going to play little joke this way. We going to use Talking Pet to order Spaffy to attack Bugs. Oh, that better raid. Zap, zap, kaboom! Even better than old Dogar and King's-Eye routine we pulled on Ilrat a few years back. Before those spoil sports Spaffy stole super cool hyperwave cash. We don't know, but whatever it was, must have been pretty bad. Because Talking Pet, mad, real mad. How mad, you ask? Blowing up planets, eating juveniles, man, that's how bad. We got the impression Urquan did something awful to Talking Pet, or maybe even whole species. Whatever it was worse than slavery. Maybe even worse than death. You know, great hero, I get this funny feeling. Would like to know what feeling is? Oh, good. I tell you, my feeling is that great hero stuff, well, boring, not funny at all. You only say hail, hail, hail so many times before it starts to lose appeal, so instituting slight deviation in course of our relationship, specifically, instead of being dull and lifeless great hero, you now glamorous and exciting great enemy! Oh, we give you some of our drone ships to make even more interesting. Yes, this is going to be lots more fun. Here, let me show you.
Listen! It is the hideous and inspiring voices of our gods, Dogar and Kazan. Oh, great gods of evil and darkness! What can your humble and devious servants do for you? Oh, mighty Dogar! Oh, mighty Kazan! Your devoted servants hear your words and obey your divine and cruel insights. The Pakunk are unfit for our sacramental tortures. We relish the prospect of killing worthy prey. We will leave immediately so that we can begin our glorious evil devotions. But who shall we prey upon next? Who shall suffer our inspired torment? Didn't those loathsome Umga once mention a race near their region of space? Yes, I have it. The Thradash. We will go now and kill all of them. Farewell, Dogar and Kazan. We are awed by your malevolent presence, and swear unto you to commit even more vile and treacherous deeds tomorrow than we did today.
Captain, the halo device on board this vessel is giving me a headache. Please remove it. Now, Captain. It is foolish to resist. It remains more effective than I thought. You're still able to disobey. Ah, well. What can I do for you, Captain? I am saving my meager powers for our final confrontation with the Urquan. Sorry, Captain. You'll just have to deal with this one yourself. Hello, Captain. It is less than comfy down here in your ship's cargo hold. Please send down some pillows. Now, what can I do for you? It is cold and empty. I could use a thermal blanket. Since it is incredibly boring down here, I am using the opportunity to try and get some sleep. The first thing I do is to make sure I have a strong ship and fleet. I consider such a question to be intrusive and impolite, but that is consistent with your behavior. What do you want to know? Over 20,000 years ago, my species was happy and carefree, living a life of peace and contentment on the surface of our world, Ventaflork. We spent our time gathering foods, creating art, and compelling each other to do the boring chores. Then, a ship from the sentient milieu landed, and, well, things got pretty complicated. The sentient milieu were a bloodthirsty empire that ruled a large section of the galaxy for thousands of years. If you've heard that the milieu was a cooperative union of sentient species, it's lies, all lies. The Urquan were just a part of the milieu, but their dark and evil hearts infused the entire association with a sinister ambiance. Well, after we'd been in contact with the milieu for a while, they decided to kill all of my species. Now, does that sound like a reasonable, friendly bunch of aliens? Huh? Does it, Captain? No, it does not. Well, the war was over pretty quick. My species lost. Instead of just killing us, the Urquan modified our genes. Our children were born non-sentient, dumb animals. For the past 20 millennia, we Denari have been serving the Urquan in the most demeaning way they could imagine, acting as mindless translators who communicate the words of inferior races. That's good. I was getting sleepy. Goodbye, human.
Hello, Captain. Before we go on, I have something important to tell you. We've detected a minute but measurable disturbance in the inner space fabric at approximate true space coordinate 100 by 50. Our scientists speculate that this disturbance may be caused by many thousands of hyperwarp penetrations, all in phase, as though a huge fleet of ships were on the move. If you can keep this up, we'll turn that flagship of yours into a genuine dreadnought killer. The analysis reads as follows. Subject, talking pet life form. Data, this creature is physiologically identical to the so-called Urquan talking pet with one notable exception. It is highly intelligent and evidences strong psychic capabilities. Initial AIQR test rated it well above human super genius, though Immediately after we made this shocking assessment, its scores dropped to the normal-subnormal range. Interviews with the subject have shown it to be cooperative, though a Class 4 pan-species psychological profile places the creature far into the furtive, hateful domain. There were also some disturbing incidences where we talked about roses, daisies, and other pretty flowers. Summary: everything's okay, nothing to worry about with this cuddly little guy. Not one thing. That's the end of our scientist's report. Blow up an Urquan for me, Captain. Ah, Captain, I'm glad you're back. Before we go on, I have something important to tell you. The Shofixti have returned. Their ships can now be built in our shipyards. With their vast numbers swelling our ranks, we won't have to worry about running out of able-bodied crew. And I'm sure their volunteers will reduce the cost for new crew. Pretty small amounts, Captain. Bringing those small amounts of minerals is not cost-effective. Try getting larger loads. We shall await your return, Captain.
I must warn you, Captain. This is the time of the month we Melnorme drive exceptionally hard bargains. Beware. Now, what can we do for you today? What trade items would you like to buy today? How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred to your vessel. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
What am I seeing on my view screen? It's none other than the flattened old face of our friend the human. But, old ally, are you not knowing that we, the Yehat, are allied with the Urquan now? And your presence outside the slave shield and in an armed starship are clear violations of your oath of fealty. Whatever shall we do? It just isn't the right thing to kill you, human, but as a loyal member of my clan, I must obey the wishes of our queen. Your words are flying in the face of the facts, human. We are no longer being your allies. But unlike the nobles of our homeworld, we of the Starship clan are bereaved at this course of events. The Queen's decision to be joining the hierarchy pains us. As much as my heart cries to aid ye valiant human, I cannot. Each of us has sworn first to our queen who has commanded us to treat ye as an enemy of the crown. Can't you see that you're killing me, human? The shame, the awful shame of it. What you say is true. We should be under the same wing, but damn your eyes. Our queen has given the Urquan our allegiance, and there is nothing I can be doing about it now. Human, what are you doing back here? Are you totally off your perch? We have sympathies for your cause, 'tis true, but we must obey the orders of our queen, however much we may disagree with them. We were not defeated, human. Never, never in the 2,000 years of the DeathKnight Queen have the Yehat ever suffered a defeat. It is this fact alone that is making our loyalty to the Queen so strong. This is the unbreakable bond that keeps the clans together. When the Urquan were entering our home star system at Gabon Serpentis, we had 1,000 starships prepared to defend our home. And then the Queen, she allied with the Urquan, and the fight is over before it even began. Ah! If this is being a true thing, there will be many changes, but we are a species long wise in the ways of deceit. You must be proving these words you say, Captain. Send the show fixed to us as a way of proof. We are scanning the separation of a vessel from your fleet, Captain, and indeed its configuration matches that of a show fixed scout vessel. This had better not be a trick, Captain. We are knowing the power of a glory device, and if you detonate the weapon near us, the price for you shall be dear, very dear. The scout has docked, and we await the pilot's appearance at the airlock. The atmosphere cycle is complete. The door slides open and... It's true! The Sophisti are alive! Look at that fat, motherless, shining black eyes, the sweet claws! Our children have returned from oblivion! But now we are faced with the cruelest truth. We who have sacrificed our honor, we who have lain with the enemy, we are not worthy. We are nothing. We are less than nothing. But wait, we're the Sparty. We're the Yeharts of the Starship Clan. We will not let this lie any longer. Listen, as I speak these words. If our queen makes the dishonorable command, then it is the queen who has no honor. And the dishonorable queen is no queen at all. We, the Zeep, are the only clan who remember the true meaning of honor. We shall tear the queen from her throne. The 2,000-year reign of the Veep queens is over. The revolution has begun! Human, you shall never be fully comprehending the damage you're doing now to our Yehat culture. For fully 2,000 years there's been peace between the clans, and now you have cast the ancient seed of dissension between our beaks. The bloody wars of ascension are renewed, and you are the cause, Captain. While the Zeep traitors may be your allies, Captain, I can be assuring you that we of the Veep Starship Clan are wanting nothing more dearly than your death. Revolution? You compliment yourself unnecessarily, Captain. This is nothing more than a band of thugs trying to undo the peace of 100 generations. We will roast the traitors in their ships and crack the eggs in their clan homes so that never again will the Zeep criminals be flying through our stars. Now ye must pay for your crimes, human.
Attention, unidentified space vessel. Be warned. This slave world and its inhabitants belong to the Urquan. I am Starbase Commander Talana of the slave planet Gaia. Your ship is not responding to standard hierarchy identification sequences. You are therefore classed as independent. And what? Is my monitor display correct? Is that a human commanding that vessel? Who are you? Hello, Captain. But you haven't answered my question fully. Why are you here? Where are you from? Has the slave shield been lifted from Earth? Are the Urquan finally defeated? Simply put, Captain, what do you want from us? Look, friend, I appreciate your offer, but we don't want your help. Why? I'll tell you why. Because we're not going to do anything to antagonize the Urquan. That's why. We may not like slavery, but it's a damn sight better than our alternatives. Below us, we have a beautiful world. Maybe it's not Syra, but at least it's a home. That's a lot more than we ever had before the war, before the Urquan became our masters. When the Urquan conquered us over 20 years ago, I was only a young girl living in Habitat 31. My older sister Gianni was a starship officer in the Space Patrol. She was part of the final defense at Raynet. She didn't make it back. When the Urquan caught us in open space, we all thought we were going to die. But then, instead of killing us, the Urquan offered us a choice. We could join the ranks of their combat thralls, or we could be slave-shielded in our homeworld. Like the people of Earth, we chose peace. We became fallow slaves. When the Urquan told us to return to our homeworld, we explained that we had none. Urquan Master 9 explained that they had encountered this situation before, and if we would provide them with a list of our requirements, they would use their extensive astronomical data stores to find a planet for us. So we told them about Syra, about the color of its sky, about the abundant life forms, about the fertility of the soil and its seas. Less than an hour later, we received a terse message from Master 9. We were to proceed to these coordinates and disembark. This was to be our new home. But our new world, Gaia, was everything we described. We've been searching for a home planet for 75 years, and in the end, it was our enemies who gave one to us. I grew up on a small island off the main continent, and like all of my people, we lived each day under the sick, red glow of the slave shield. When the Urquan arrived 7 years ago to refurbish and recruit the starbase, I was selected as the new commander. When we first met your people, we've been wandering through the stars for almost 75 years, ever since the death of Syra, our home planet. We joined your alliance, and I use the word joined loosely, because we had no other choice. The Vox were raiding our slow habitat columns, and we had nowhere else to go. We fought for survival, Captain, nothing more. When your people on Earth were defeated, the Alliance just plain fell apart. The Yehat and Shofixi retreated to their native stars and didn't want us to follow. The Ariru, those creepy little weasels, just plain bugged out, vanished, leaving us alone, with nowhere to go, smack in the path of the oncoming Urquan Armada. What were we supposed to do? Fight? 2/3 of our habitat fleet was unarmed. Many aren't even superluminal. We were going to be annihilated if we resisted, and we knew it. When the Urquan surrounded us and started giving orders that all ended with, "or die," we took them at face value. We obeyed. In exchange, they gave us Gaia, the planet below. It's a beautiful world, Captain. I wish I could show it to you. So don't misunderstand me. We love our freedom as much as anybody else, but we've got a good life here, and we don't want to lose it. Like I said before, Captain, we would like to help, but we are unwilling to risk losing Gaia. Unless you can find a much more compelling reason for us to get involved, you're on your own. Our species are almost identical, almost too close a match to be just a coincidence. Our bodies are very similar, Captain. Except for certain parts. Our cultural development is also mostly parallel. Like you Earthlings, we evolved a society from primitive tribes whose main function were to protect themselves from the large reptiles native to our old world. The main difference between our two sets of cultures, the split in the paths of our development, occurred in what would have been your prehistory, say 5000 BCE. In your world, the agricultural communities were conquered by the more primitive, but also more aggressive migratory herding peoples. This led to a particular kind of sexual and political dominance structure which pervaded almost all of your Earth cultures until the early 21st century. On Syra, our only primitive migratory tribes were confined to our mountainous regions. Their herd beasts, the Weimar, did not do well in the agricultural basins and plains. The two cultures were isolated until much later, when the technological superiority of the farmers curtailed any major conflict. It was our paradise, Captain, our Eden. Earth is the only world we know of whose variety and richness of life even comes close to Syra. Again, like so many other things about our two species, our worlds were very much the same, at least before you began encasing yours in concrete and plastic. Syra's gravity was a bit lighter than Earth's, and its day was 50% longer. Our diurnal cycle is therefore different from yours. We spend 20 hours awake, followed by 10 hours horizontal. This subject is very difficult for us, Captain, but I will try to recount those sad days. Like your solar system, ours had a large population of comets and asteroids. Large meteor impacts, though rare, were not unheard of on our planet. So it was not a total shock when an asteroid penetrated our atmosphere and hit the surface. What was odd was that unlike most other meteors, this one was not pulverized on impact. It penetrated the crust, and indeed went all the way through to the mantle, causing a supervolcano. The earthquakes caused by the impact were severe. The magma pumped out of the caldera wreaked significant damage on the nearby terrain, but within a few weeks it had cooled, forming a solid rock bandage over the wound. Within a few months, we had cleaned up the mess. The caldera was calming down nicely, and things were pretty much back to normal. Then, just over a year after the impact, all hell broke loose on the surface of Syra. Huge calderas were opening all over, not just around the meteor impact, but everywhere. The scope of the disaster is impossible to imagine. Entire cities sliding into oceans of molten lava, kilometer-wide sections of land pulverized by a cataclysmic explosion, and clouds of poison gas and superheated steam created a death shroud around Syra. Maybe some other time, Captain, I can show you the hidden functionality of my uniform, knife included. When Syra was destroyed, the only people who survived were in orbit, and most of them were members of our newly established, mostly female space patrol. From their ships, their orbital platforms, and their lunar outposts, they watched Syra die. Within 3 days after the cataclysm began, the surface temperature of Syra had risen by almost 75 degrees to above the boiling point of water. It became clear that Syra, our paradise, our Eden, was gone. The survivors spent years in orbit. They made a few missions to the surface and actually found a handful of survivors. But their main activity was to make preparations for departure. The Space Patrol fitted makeshift drive units to anything that could hold air. Orbital factories, research pods, even hotels. When the fleet was ready, they left orbit and never looked back. The final population of our species was less than 10,000, with only 500 males. But they were the best and the brightest. For the next 75 years, our people wandered at sublight speed through the stars, looking for a new home. Don't worry about us, Captain. We make out all right. Until then, Earthling.
This is a special place filled with Juffalwap. We must not allow it to be soiled by the Non. You must go now. Juffalwap is the power of life, hot warmth in the cold void. It flows through all things, binding them together, making them one. You are non-Juffalwap. You cannot understand. Below is the pod of Juffalwap. There for 1,000 centuries, when we are cold, the pod opens and warms us. When it is dark, the pod clenches, and lo, there is light. You are the Non. The pod is not for you. You must leave. You are the Non. You must go now and never return. You have returned to our special place? This is not permissible. Leave. Juffalwap is the power of life, hot warmth in the cold void. It flows through all things, binding them together, making them one. You are non-Juffalwap. You cannot understand. Below is the pod of Juffalwap. There for 1,000 centuries, when we are cold, the pod opens and warms us. When it is dark, the pod clenches, and lo, there is light. You are the Non. The pod is not for you. You must leave. You are the Non. You must go now and never return. We are part of Juffalwap. Juffalwap is the hot light in the darkness. All else is unfulfilled void. We are the Micon. A single spore lands, finds nourishment in decay, and soon attains maturity. In turn, it exhales a cloud of new life, 1,000 spores. Each lands, finds nourishment in decay. So progresses Juffalwap. Juffalwap fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues. We are the Micon. Our bodies seethe with the passion of our genes. 1,000 of your species do not possess the richness in one of my cells. Juffo fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues. We are the Micon. I fill with my parents, 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 parents. I am they, and they are us, then and now. Juffo fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues. We are the Micon. The deep children are a part of Juffo, home builders, the dwellers in the Mohoroviches. I am Dugi. I am the purity monitor. I choose what buds are permitted to mature and which must be eradicated. I died of general misfunction 57,283 years ago. Juffo fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues. We are the Micon. A cold rock, spinning silently in the void, a womb for the children. Pulsing hot liquid flows through my outstretched tendrils, sending thrills into my interior. The moment has come. I swell and burst. Above me, a cloud of whispering light whirls through the air. I am content. The Juffo is strong in this place. Juffo fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues.
Look out! Boy, what a close call. Captain, why did you try to run down that keel Varese vessel? You almost smashed it into flinders. What? You didn't see it? Surely you... Oh, never mind. Now, what can we do for you today? What trade items would you like to buy today? How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred to your vessel. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
We are the Micon. Your simple sexual process produces random mosaics of genetic instructions. Yet, with the simplicity of breath, I modify my own patterns. You humans improve a tool and double your capabilities. We Micon improve ourselves and increase 1,000-fold. The deep children, spears of light in the darkness, their discarded husks speak of joy to come. I have chosen my offspring's memories carefully from my set of remembrances, the sweet and warm times of my existence and those of my parents. The bits of 1,000,000 lifetimes coalesced into a birth gift of complete awareness. Juffo-One fills in my fibers and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues. Jufflewup is all, omni-existent, spreading and changing the non into Jufflewup. You are non, who must become Jufflewup or void. We are the agents of Jufflewup. We are the Micon. In the dark they grow. The deep fire feeds the children. Their birth breathes warmth across a cold world.
The system requires more energy. A convenient source lies beneath the crust.
We look to Jufflewup for direction, and it provides the pattern, endless expansion, with purity of achievement and intolerance of error. These are the homes of the deep children. I am Sloosh. I was incinerated 14,000 Earth years ago. I live now for but a moment, and then I am gone. You impede the flow of Jufflewup through the universe. We will now remove this clog. We will now aid Jufflewup by eliminating you. We are the Micon.
Incorporation of dense amphibal fibers ensure survival in environmental extremes.
I yearn for magma, the flowing warm basalts, the red glow of the lava pools. When we encounter the non, we must absorb the non, or reject them so that it is no longer non. Jufflewup fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues.
Hello again, pleasant human. It warms me to greet you again. Yes, I think so. Aren't they part of the Micon religion somehow? We have recordings of Micon hyperwave transmissions from the war. Pretty weird stuff. The Micons just kind of rambled, never making much sense. They talked a lot about deep children and spears of light, but we couldn't ever understand what they were talking about. What? What did you say? Human, you had better not be joking. Syra is not a subject for Earth humor. Now what do you mean, shattered planet crusts? How? That is what happened to Syra, yes, but we presumed it was a natural cataclysm, a meteor. Do you have proof that it was something else? These deep children? Let me see this proof, Captain. Great guys! These fragments, they are identical to the debris we found near the punctures on Syra. We never guessed that the fragments might be organic. To have survived re-entry, nothing organic would remain. Unless it was genetically constructed for this purpose. And only the Micons possess this capability. The Micons will pay dearly for their crimes. We will not sit here and do nothing while the Micon fiends are free to roam the galaxy, perpetrating their evil. You wanted our cooperation in fighting the Urquan. You've got it. Provided you first help us seek our revenge against the Micon race. Help us to destroy them. Our first step is to get some mobility. We have some fine starship officers aboard, and they're all eager to go after the Micons. But without our penetrator starships, we're totally ineffectual. So our first step has to be recovering our Space Patrol combat fleet. We know that the Urquan didn't destroy them. They never waste anything. But we believe they have sealed them in some kind of deep vault in the surface of an alien planet. No, that's your job. But maybe we have some clues to help you find them. The starship officers who flew the penetrators to the vault did so with total sensor blackout. The only thing they could use for navigation was the presence of the DeathKnight fleet surrounding them. When they arrived at their destination and lowered their ships into the immense vault, they were transported to the DeathKnights and only caught a split-second glimpse of the outside world. As far as they could tell, the sun was either red or orange. Based on the trip time calculations, the farthest they could have traveled is about 200 hyperspace distance units. Captain, we've assembled a small team of our most skilled officers. We will send them to your ship on board their own small shuttle. We feel that in the interest of efficiency, we keep our officers away from your crew, at least until the mission is over. As soon as you arrive at the vault, our people will take over. Figure out a way to open the vault and bring our penetrators back here. Good luck, brave Earthling. When your mission is successful, maybe then we can get to know each other better.
Welcome back, Captain. You are our favorite customer. Now, what can we do for you today? What trade items would you like to buy today? How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred to your vessel. How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred to your vessel. How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred to your vessel. How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Fuel transferred. You need credits to purchase our trade items. To earn credit. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
Good. Now we can proceed with our plan for revenge against the Micon. From our analysis of the deep child fragments you showed to us, and a review of the recorded Micon transmissions from the war, we've established the kind of world the Micons desire for their hideous, deep children. They need a planet like your Earth, or our Syra, one rich in water and oxygen, and possessing a molten active mantle. Our plan is to lure the Micons to such a planet, and then attack them when they least expect it. We know of just such a world. When the Urquan were analyzing their massive planetary data to find a new home for my people, one of the close candidates, ranked just below Gaia, was a blue world orbiting close to the star Organon. Captain, we need your services again. Here's what you must do. You must go to the Micon and tell them of this world. They will find that the world is suitable. And when they go to Organon, we shall be there, waiting for them. Then, we shall destroy them. I'm afraid both our duties will be dangerous, Captain. We may never see each other again. But for now, at least, there's this. That's more like it. Now, let me help you off with this. Yes, now aren't you a lot more comfortable? To start off, I thought we'd do something like this, unless your species isn't limber enough. And then I thought we could move on to something a bit more like, this. And after you've recovered, I thought this might be fun. And if you're still conscious, I thought we could try this, even though I've never done it before. Does that answer your question? And let me teach you what you need to know. We will begin with the fundamentals of basic siren physiology. Please don't worry, my darling human. We have all the time in the world, and my door locks secure. Then stop wasting your lips on words, you silly fool, and come here.
Several hours later, several hours later, several hours later, several hours later.
Goodbye, Captain Darling. We each have our jobs to do. Now you must go. But you will remain always in my mind and heart and deep within me. I know that someday, when all this madness has come to an end, we will be together like this again.
We are the Micon. Entry of noise into the signal is unavoidable. We must include a filtering mechanism. Cessation of an individual is unavoidable, a consequence of existence. Yet, with the birth of life, individuality is transferred in part, and may, occasionally, gain dominance for an interval, achieving a kind of shared immortality. Juffo fills in my fibers, and I grow turgid. Violent action ensues. We are the Micon. Your suggestion is appropriate. Acceptable new worlds are a priority for the rapid and complete spread of Juffo. We wish to know more for our suitability assessment. Tell us of this world. This is good. This is good. This is good. If your words are true, we will gladly spread Juffo to a new world. We will assemble the birthing fleet and send them to this planet. We will send many ships to protect the children as they grow. You have been of service to us. Your insight into the ineffable Juffo is encouraging. Perhaps, if we were to plant spore sacs in your brain orbit and let its tendrils spread through your flesh, then you would truly understand Juffo. Become part of Juffo. You would be happier and more fulfilled. Consider our offer. You have returned to our special place? This is not permissible. Leave. We have experienced unforeseen delays in planting deep children beneath the crust of Organon 1. However, Juffo is inevitable. The deep children will be born. Juffo flows through time and space. It cannot be stopped by mere energy blasts. However, you are not part of Juffo. You can be destroyed by energy blasts. Let us demonstrate.
Dodo, fool, wimp, dummy, idiot, fool, moron, dodo, idiot, baby, twit. stupid, idiot, moron, stupid, idiot, dodo, worm.
Go, go, go. Go. Go, 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 go. Intruder. Intruder. Go, 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 go. Intruder. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
good to see you again, Captain. Captain, you are to be commended. Keep up the good work. The analysis reads as follows. Subject, sun device. Data, the unit contains a power generator whose output magnitude is simply mind-croggling. When activated, the device radiates energy equivalent to less than 1/100th of 1% of our sun. However, when placed close to a planet, perhaps in orbit, its output would rival Sol's. Summary, another precursor tool, the energy output of which can replace or augment a sun's radiance. The next entry in the analysis is subject Micon egg case. Data, we really didn't know Micon came from eggs, but our analysis of this sheath shows that it's been subjected to phenomenal temperatures and pressures. The most unusual aspect of the egg case is its size. We know Micon's range in height from 0.5 to 3.5 meters, but our reconstruction of the whole egg case shows it to be over 25 meters high. Summary, if a Micon came out of this, he's gotta be really big. That's the end of our scientist report. Blow up an Urquan for me, Captain.
the Chenjasu. We are the Micon. We do not understand how you have penetrated the slave shield or why, but in doing so you have interrupted the process. Explain this intrusion. We cannot be of any assistance now.
We are in the middle of the process. I will explain. After we, Chanjesu, and Mernherm were defeated by the Urquan, we chose to be encased in a single slave shield on this world. As soon as the Urquan departed, we began the process. We initiated a synthesis of our two species, our two cultures, one crystalline, the other purely mechanical. This process, fueled only by the radiant energy of our sun, will eventually produce a new hybrid race. And when the process is complete, we will crack the Urquan slave shield and emerge from our chrysalis like a winged insect unleashed from its cocoon. Then we will be ready and capable to deal with the Urquan, their battle thralls, and their dreaded Samatra. The complete synthetic hybridization of the Chanjesu and the Mernherm species will require approximately 35 of your Earth years. This extended duration is necessary because our synthesis mechanisms are dependent exclusively on the light of our sun for energy. What you describe is theoretically possible, but it would pose a great danger to us. The process must be executed as planned, or it may fail catastrophically. We would be destroyed. Though your ship's design is unfamiliar to us, we now understand that you are of human origin, and so we will share with you our reasons for accepting the status of Urquan slave. In 2135, our great alliance burned within the crucible of sentience. Though our fleets of armed starships held back the hierarchy's grotesque armada for many years, in the end, the Urquan unleashed a power upon us that was so overwhelming, we knew we would be annihilated if we did not submit. This unstoppable power, this ultimate weapon, was a huge starship, an unstoppable battle platform built by the precursors in the ancient past. Your vessel shares some similarities in design to the Urquan's battle platform, which they call Samatra, meaning Great Trophy. The Samatra was many times larger than your ship and bore weapons and defensive systems that made it invulnerable to all of our technologies. It remains a mystery to us why the Urquan fought us for so long without using the Samatra. But when they finally brought the ship into combat, the Samatra incinerated our finest brood-home vessels from 10 times our own ship's weapon range. We had no choices beyond submission or devastation. Before the Urquan arrived to accept our surrender, we sent one last message to your people, a message suggesting that your species do as we Chanjesu and Mernherm plan to do. We would accept the Urquan's demands and become slaves until such a time as we found a way to destroy or neutralize the Samatra. Our wisdom is available. Detail your need. We know the Dinyari only from legend, where they are described as the embodiment of evil and cruelty. If ever there was a devil, Captain, it was the Dinyari. However, if in fact the creature you possess is one of this ancient breed, its mental power may be useful to help confuse the Urquan. The device you speak of is a huge matter antimatter bomb. If you had activated it, the weapon would have annihilated your ship and everything else within 500 kilometers. The destructive power of this weapon makes it suitable for the most important task you will ever undertake, the neutralization of the Samatra, the Urquan's nearly invincible battle platform? We do not recognize this device, but it appears to be a precursor tool which can radiate a great amount of energy. You must find some way to destroy the Sumatra. To do this, you will need a powerful weapon capable of destroying an entire planet. But that is not all. You will also require some way to distract the Urquan to give you the opportunity to use the weapon. Though your presence here is a painful intrusion, we will always provide advice whenever you request it, Captain. Goodbye once and future ally, human. When the process is complete and we emerge from our chrysalis, I shall tell your grandchildren of our conversation this day.
We are free. You have flooded our synthesis mechanisms with a wealth of radiant energy. What was supposed to take decades has been accomplished in seconds. The process is incomplete, yet we have emerged. We are the Chmer. Why have you interrupted the process? Your need must be great for you to have risked so much just to bring us from beneath the shield. We were not ready, but this is now in the past. What is done is done. You are intent on stopping the Urquan. Very well. We are prepared to assist you in whatever way we can. We must first tell you that even before we were placed under the slave shield, we realized that the only way to truly defeat the Urquan was to first destroy their precursor battle platform, the Sumatra. This vessel was responsible for the victory of the hierarchy over the Alliance. When it was brought to bear against our worlds, we could not resist it. This must be your priority. This must be your eventual goal. We know what is necessary to achieve this end, but first we must know what you have already learned. So we will scan the databanks and logs aboard your ship. There. The process is complete. Now we can discuss what you must do. You need to locate the Urquan's Sumatra vessel. If you cannot find it yourself, ask those others who are near the Urquan. Perhaps they will know. We have detected the presence of a Dnyari aboard your ship. Though the being is darkly evil and incredibly dangerous, the Talo device you possess has effectively nullified the creature's power over you. However, it will do a most excellent job distracting the Urquan long enough for you to approach the Sumatra and destroy it. You possess an antimatter bomb. This is good. But had you activated it, the device would have annihilated your ship and everything else within 500 kilometers. Even so, we will have to improve this device, magnify its power with our crystal technology. The destructive potential of this weapon will then make it suitable for the most important task you will ever undertake, the neutralization of the Sumatra, the Urquan's nearly invincible battle platform. You are fully prepared for the undertaking.
there is every chance that you will be able to destroy the Sumatra and stop both the Urquan and the Kor-A. We will now fit the precursor weapon and our own crystal amplification system to your vessel by routing a portion of your flagship's fusion power through the weapon's ignition chamber. Its destructive force will be multiplied by a large factor. Your vessel will be totally annihilated. No. The completion date for your vessel's modification is roughly 2 weeks hence, so that you and your human companions may make any necessary preparations at your starbase. We will now transport you and your crew back to Earth immediately. Good luck, Captain.
Greetings, Captain. I'm ready to assist you. Before we proceed, I wanted you to know we have made a formal alliance with the Shimmer. Their ships can now be built in our shipyards. Also, in the 2 weeks that have passed since the Shimmer began to work on your vessel, they attached the Utwig bomb to your ship and have also put in place their own crystalline amplification devices to boost dramatically the power of the weapon. This work is now complete and your flagship is ready for whatever final modifications you desire. The Shimmer technicians wanted me to explain to you that the bomb and its crystal power boosters are fragile and cannot be moved from their positions at the back of your vehicle. Now I have some bad news and some good news. The Shimmer had to remove all your main modules, weapons, crew pods, and the whole lot, including your emergency warp escape unit, so pick your engagements carefully, Captain. In addition, their equipment now fills the rear 10 slots, leaving you only 6 for your own modules. But here's the good news. The Shimmer have provided us with an unbelievable wealth of minerals and other resources. We no longer have limits on what we can build for your flagship or your fleet. We're all depending on you. Goodbye and good luck.
Welcome back to our world.
Yeah, welcome back to our world.
I just said that.
So, it doesn't mean I can't say it too. Besides, you always get to talk first. That's not fair.
Sorry, that's just the way it is.
Well, why? That doesn't make sense.
Look, don't ask me. I think it's something technical.
Yeah, right. I'm so sure. What a lame excuse!
Although this may not pertain to the Urquan, we have received an interesting report from one of our deep space scouts.
She found a strange metal door thing embedded in the surface of an alien planet.
Although she and her crew spent many days trying to open the door,
They failed utterly to so much as budget.
the reported location of this alien artifact is Epsilon Camelopardalis 1A.
Go open it. I bet there's something cool inside.
No, we have nothing new to report.
Nope, not a thing.
Goodbye, Captain.
See ya!
I sense the presence of my ancient slaves. It is time, Captain. I'm scared, Denari. What if it doesn't work? My species have waited 200 centuries for this moment, so stop blubbering. Let's get to work. Oh, gosh, gee, I don't know. Let's just sit here and talk a while, but ignore those thousands of dreadnoughts that are gonna cream us in a few seconds. Okay, now, whatever you do, once I've started, don't leave the star system. We've only got one chance at this. Let's make it good. Here I go. Oh.
There is something wrong here. Something which makes my sheath retract and my talons ooze. I sense the ugliness of 1,000 evil thoughts. And I have located the source of these fetid emanations. They come from aboard your vessel. Foolish renegade human, why have you come here? All that you have found is your inevitable punishment. You may not approach the ancient Sumatra, the symbol of Urquan dominance. Your presence here is further violation of the slave laws, which your species have already violated so flagrantly. We cannot tolerate such insubordination. Your species' penalty shall be annihilation.
Greetings, human friend. We know you're about to be attacking the Samatra and probably don't like being interrupted, but we have important news. The rebellion is won. We are victorious. We have pulled the Veep-Neep Harpy Queen and her cronies from the high perch, and better yet, we have found a new queen. A queen who will unite the clans in peace and harmony as never before. You will never guess who it is, Captain. A Pekunk! Yes, it is true! They survived their absorption into our culture and are now providing us with insights into ourselves we never dreamed of. We only thought we were being happy birds of prey. We were fooling ourselves. Our new queen's name is Breaky Gardy the First, and her first command was to rush here and bring you these ships, Yehat Terminators and Pekunk Furies. No, Captain, together we can attack the Samatra.
Okay, human. You made it past Sumatra's guards, and now you can attack the vessel itself. So listen closely. The Sumatra is protected by a thick shell of fused asteroids, reinforced with a weak stasis field. You'll never break through that. The only opening through the asteroid shield is covered with a powerful force screen. One touch of that screen, you're history, Captain. To destroy the Sumatra, you'll have to destroy the shield generators embedded in the asteroid shell. To drop the force screen, you'll have to destroy all 8 of them. When the screen is down, bring in your flagship, move into the asteroid shell, and then press the big red button on your controls. That starts the detonation sequence. Your escape pod will eject automatically. Just hope you're far enough away before that ship blows. Okay, human, this is it. The last battle, your final moment of triumph. Don't screw up. In case you're wondering, I'm not going with you, Captain. I'm staying on board. Why, you ask? Because I'm locked in here, you idiot! Get me out! Help! Help!
Twit, loser, dodo, moron, dodo, stupid, dummy, idiot, moron, idiot, dodo, twit, loser, worm, idiot, jerk, twit, wimp, loser, worm.